But yeah, it's substantially better than before. Torque! Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the all-new Mercedes Sprinter. We're going to find out if this is the best new cargo van for sale. Before we get in this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Mercedes-Benz of Farmington for giving me some time with this Sprinter. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So the new Sprinter has several powertrain options available. The first option is a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder gas engine that puts out 188 horsepower and then 258 pound-feet of torque. Now the other engine options you can get are both diesels. The first diesel puts out 170 horsepower and then 295 pound-feet of torque. It's also a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder if you're wondering. And then the one under the hood of this Sprinter is the high output version that puts out 211 horsepower and then 332 pound-feet of torque, and then it goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see we've got these little like vent pieces on either side. Halogen lights down below, and then you guys can see the giant Mercedes logo here with the camera just down below the logo. And then notice how the front end's like all plastic cladding, which means that it's not going to show wear and tear as much as if it was painted. And I mean, this cargo van is absolutely enormous. Like, it's got some presence. And I mean, look how much like clearance this has. You can tell that Mercedes is emphasizing off-roadiness. We'll pretend like that's a word with the new Sprinter by how much clearance it has. Now, popping on the side here, our turn wheel setup is 245, 75, 16 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see with the overall wheel design, pretty basic. And then just look how much clearance there is. Again, we've got 8 inches of ground clearance with the new Sprinter, if you guys are wondering. And look at those shocks. Now, taking a few steps back, you guys can again see the scale of the Sprinter, but notice how you've got like the plastic cladding there on the side. And then for those of you that are wondering, the new Sprinter is all-wheel drive. However, taking a look at the back, it looks like we still have leaf springs and we still have a solid rear axle. Now here's a key fob for the Sprinter. We've got our unlock function, our lock function, Mercedes logo, and well, that's pretty much it. Now opening up the rear, we've got the first door that'll pop open, and then with the second one, we've got the handle on the inside. Pretty easy to open. It looks like that's as far as the doors go. Just kidding, I lied. They open up way wider. So anyways, popping into the rear, I guess we have to take a big step up. It looks like we already have flooring here in the back, which is very nice. We got these little humps back here, which is kind of funny. But this thing is massive. I feel like I am inside of a building at this point. I mean, I basically just walked a mile to get back here. But by the way, yeah, you guys can see there's tons of headroom. We also have, looks like vents here. Yeah, we've got vents here at the top. Sorry about the camera angle. The camera angle is horrible. But yeah, I mean, all throughout the top, it's got the entire climate control setup. And then this one doesn't have any windows here in the back, if you guys are wondering. And then when you're all done, I guess we have to like go all the way with both of the doors, which definitely takes a second. Man, I'm getting a workout today just reviewing this Sprinter. Now you can see the taillights here in the back, and then we have our 2500 all-wheel drive badge, and then Sprinter here on the other side, and then parking sensors there at the bottom. And then we'll take a few steps back so you can see the scale. Wow. And then we have the sliding door here for the side as well, so that's another point of entry here at the Sprinter. Now, starting with the door panel, you guys can see where you're going to rest your arm there at the top, and we've got all of our window controls here with our mirror adjustments. The mirrors do power fold in, and they have blind spot monitoring. And then we have all of our seat adjustments in normal Mercedes-Benz fashion. We even have heated seats, memory seats, and then tons of storage here on the door panel itself. And then this is where you fill up with diesel, if you're wondering. And then we have these nice leather seats here at the front with the Sprinter. You've got your lumbar right there. And then we've got our light controls here on the side. And then look at the circular vent right there. And then the steering wheel is manually adjustable. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you actually have nice leather trim all around, and then you can see the stitching down the center. It's black to match. And then this is actually a control for the infotainment system. Got our volume controls as well. We have adaptive cruise control with this, and then a control there for the center screen. Paddle shifters here on the back for the 9-speed automatic. And then we have our turn signal windshield wiper stalk, and then we have our column shifter. Now with the gauge cluster here in the center, you guys can see mostly analog, but we can scroll through some different menus here in the center to see different bits of info on the vehicle. Pretty standard stuff. We'll actually do that so we can see how many gallons of diesel we're going through. Now in reverse, you can hear the beeping. So it has that. We also have a backup camera, which direction lines that turn with the steering wheel. But then also we also have the bird's eye view. And this has just like a full 360 camera system, which is quite incredible for a cargo van. I mean, that just adds the practicality a massive amount. Now, as for the rest of the infotainment system, first off, it is the touchscreen. Response time's great. Again, I can also use the steering wheel to control it as well. But it's just like Mercedes' other units, so there's nothing too crazy about it. Down below, we've got some physical buttons for different things within the infotainment system, like the camera, for example. Volume control, which is interesting, how it's like a knob like that. And then you got like this vehicle page here. And this is actually where we control some of this stuff, so you can see quick access here, and then you got like the deep dive into all of the menus, which is pretty cool with all of the safety tech that this actually has. So it's nice that you have the shortcut button, but also kind of shows the modern vehicles, right? Everything's down the infotainment system with the controls. Now I've got a single zone climate here in the Sprinter, and we've got some cup holder action here on either side, and we actually have the parking brake down here, which is, yeah, definitely interesting to say the least. But anyways, armrests here. You guys probably saw that earlier. And then just like most cargo vans, it looks like we got like a little bit of storage here on top of the dash. And then we've got this like open glove box there as well. And then it's gonna be hard to see, but we have a manual mirror dimmer. We do have a mirror, but it's useless because we don't have any windows in this van. And then we've got some storage space above the sun visors. Hopefully you can see that. Here's the sun visors themselves. It's on either side. So here's a window sticker for the Sprinter. Again, high output diesel. And then you can see the standard equipment options. This is where things add up. So first off, base MSRP, $55,940. First off, all-wheel drive, $6,400 for the package. But you can see everything that this has added to it. I mean, it just goes on and on. $80,083 is the total MSRP for this all-wheel drive diesel Sprinter. Let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off here on the Sprinter. Here's your visibility of the hood, both the mirrors, you do blind spot wondering, and yeah, no windows. Anyways, this thing is gigantic, or at least it feels gigantic to me. But just like most cargo vans, obviously we've got, you know, this seating position where we're pretty close to the front end, and so it makes it easier to drive. Yeah, that Corolla was, I feel like they were about to turn down here, and they're like, nope, big van coming through. Now the diesel sounds pretty interesting. I'm so lucky that I get to do the high output for the first drive. No dinky little gas 4 cylinders on Ben Hardy's channel. We get the high output diesel right out of the gate. This actually drives really well. It has decent articulation there going down the little driveway. Transmission's very like smooth. Very smooth. Super torquey too, like I barely have to get into it. This is impressive for a 4-cylinder, honestly. It is big though. It is very big. That is one thing to contend with. Seats are actually really comfortable. The heated seat function definitely coming in clutch. I will say that. Yeah, despite the fact this is really big, I feel like it's pretty easy to drive. It's cool how much safety tech this has as well. Oh, the all-wheel drive definitely puts down the power. That is for sure. Oh, that's my tripod. Don't worry about that. But it's big. It drives like a cargo van, so decent amount of wind noise, but again, that's kind of expected with cargo vans because you're, you know, got a roof that's a million miles in the sky. Handling's pretty good though with this. The biggest takeaway though is the torque. My goodness. I mean, I barely have to get in the throttle to keep this going up to speed. This is super impressive for a cargo van. Yeah, I think they've done a great job with the power on this. Again, this is a high output though, so you know, you'd hope that it's good. This will show us the turning of it, because we're going to use this to get through. See how tight this new all-wheel drive system turns. Now, the previous Sprinter, if you don't know, in four-wheel drive, I mean, turning radius was horrible. So, are we going to make it? Oh my goodness. Okay, the turning radius is not as good as the old Sprinter in two-wheel drive. Okay, that's kind of expected with all-wheel drive, but, big but, it's way better than the Sprinter when it was in four-wheel drive. So, it's, man, that tree's really low to the ground. Let's go around that so we don't scrape the roof of a brand new Sprinter. But yeah, it's substantially better than before. Torque! Yeah, the torque on this is so substantial. So yeah, summing things up with the new Sprinter. The diesel four-cylinder, it's got power. It's great. And I've been looking at the fuel economy reading the whole time. It seems like it's been mostly in the charge side of things. Mild hybrid, looks like. Wow. And you know, I'll do more reviews on the 23 Sprinters as Mercedes of Farmington gets them in, but like, initial impressions, I really like this. I think they did a good job with the Sprinter. I think it drives really well. I think the power's great. I think the turning radius, it's good. Again, not as good as the two-wheel drive, well, sorry, as a Sprinter and two-wheel drive, but like, yeah. Let me know what you guys think about the new Sprinter, but I'm impressed.